The NFL Today on CBS Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines.
And welcome back, everyone. Right now, Windows simplifies today's matchup in Indianapolis as we take you first on the field. Let's send you out live to the game between the Dolphins and the Colts with our announcers, Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts. Gentlemen.
JB, they were the two biggest spenders in free agency during the offseason, and today the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts meet for the second straight year, this time with a number of new faces here inside Lucas Oil Stadium from the broadcast booth. Hi, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. Both teams coming off Week 1 wins, and for Indianapolis, another game, another come-from-behind victory. Andrew Luck, he's built a reputation in a very short period of time of being captain comeback for the Colts.
Yeah, a short period of time. He just turned 24 on Thursday, and he plays as much older player, a real veteran presence on that Colts offense. Last week against Oakland, he showed that last year was no fluke, throwing 2 touchdowns, one to Reggie Wayne, one to Dwayne Allen, and then he surprised the Raiders with his guile and speed. His ability to lead his team in clutch situations, Ian, just remarkable, considering that today will only be his 18th regular season NFL game.
Colts offense, though, the running game in particular, took a big hit on Thursday in practice. Vic Ballard, torn ACL, right knee, fluke injury for Ballard, who led the Colts in rushing last season. And now the question for Indy and for Chuck Pagano, who takes over in that role?
Well, it'll be a combination of Ahmad Bradshaw and Donald Brown to pick up the slack. Bradshaw, a 1,000-yard rusher last year with the Giants, and that was playing on a bad foot. His strength is running downhill between the tackles, and Brown is the Colts' #1 pick from 2009. He'll be counted on to provide the long touchdown runs.
All right, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. Last week, they get the win despite trailing against the Cleveland Browns after 3 quarters of play. And it really was the defense that made a huge statement in the season opener. This is a unit that's opening some eyes around the National Football League.
Yeah, it was about as good a start as you could possibly have for an opening day for that Miami defense. A superb pass rush led by Cameron Wake's 2.5 sacks, 6 total, and the constant pressure resulted in interceptions by Nolan Carroll and 2 by Dimitri Patterson. The Dolphins pass rush comes at you in waves, and we'll be looking for similar results today, especially with their new speed package.
The concern for Miami, their running game last week, a non-factor combination of Lamar Miller and Daniel Thomas as a team. Miami was held to 20 rushing yards, the lowest total in the NFL in Week 1, which means a little more pressure on second-year quarterback Ryan Tannehill.
Well, you can see the stats he had last week against Cleveland, but only 1 completion to Mike Wallace, and that upset Wallace, but it was because of the double coverage. And after talking to head coach Joe Philbin, it was made clear to Wallace that Tannehill's job is to take what the defense presents to him.
And time right now for our Tools for Success, presented by Home Depot.
Last week, with all that attention the Browns gave Mike Wallace, Brian Hartline had a big day. Today we'll see whom the Colts choose to double team. One guy trying to stop the Dolphin passing game is safety Antoine Bethea. He's making his 82nd consecutive start. Well, when you don't even average 1 yard per rush, the need to improve is obvious. But how will the Dolphins improve? Colts owner Jim Irsay is dead on when he tweets Andrew Luck has to be better protected. 4 sacks and 6 rushes by Luck last week is a recipe for disaster.
It is the 72nd all-time meeting between the Colts and the Miami Dolphins. The roof is open here in Indy. We're getting ready for action. Opening kickoff is coming up. The Colts and Dolphins playing once again. Last year, Indy pulled out the win over Miami. They'll do it again here in 2013 when we come back on CBS. It's the NFL on CBS from Indianapolis, Indiana, where today the Miami Dolphins take on the Indianapolis Colts. They met last year in November, and it was the Colts with a 23-20 victory over Miami. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Dolphins and Colts will have the opening kickoff from Lucas Oil Stadium when we come back here on CBS. Roof is open here in Indianapolis. Temperature currently 72 degrees with mostly cloudy skies for the Dolphins and the Colts. Indianapolis has won 4 straight over Miami. Joe Philbin now in his second year as the head coach of the Dolphins. Last week, the 23-10 win over Cleveland. They are one of 3 teams to play their first 2 games on the road. Minnesota and Tennessee, the other 2. And Chuck Pagano, also in his second year as a head coach in the NFL. Last season, the Colts, a big surprise, 11-5. 1 year removed from a 2-14 record. They lost to Baltimore, Pagano's former team, 24-9 in the playoffs. Miami won the toss, but they have deferred to the second half. So the rookie Caleb Sturgis will kick it off. And Kerwin Williams is the deep man. He's the rookie out of Utah State that was on the practice squad when Ballard went down with the injury. Williams was brought up. And Williams will take a knee. We're underway from Indianapolis. The Colts will have it at the 20-yard line. Andrew Luck, last season, an NFL rookie record, 433 passing yards in that win over Miami.
And in talking to Andrew yesterday about the dangers of getting hit both in the pocket and out on the run, he knows he has to be smart, but he also doesn't want to be forced to be conservative because that's just plain not in his nature.
Dwayne Allen is out, so one of the weapons for Luck not available because of a hip injury. Kobe Fleener gets the start. They'll actually go with 2 tight ends to open up, and Dominique Jones. Ahmad Bradshaw is the single setback. Luck out of the gun, rolling and throwing on the move. He's got Reggie Wayne, who continues to rack up the numbers in the passing game. 3-yard pickup for Indy. Let's take a look at the starting offense for Indianapolis. Some changes. Gosder Cherilus came over as a free agent from Detroit, signed a big contract, 5 years, $34 million. Backs and receivers, there is Reggie Wayne moving up the charts on career receptions, career receiving yards. He's now number 13 in receiving yards. He passed Steve Largent last week, and now he's within 37 yards of Andre Reed. 6 offensive linemen for Indy on a 2nd and 7 now. First possession of the day. Bradshaw and Havili back there. Bradshaw gets the call, and he's got a lane. Ahmad Bradshaw, 2 career 1,000-yard rushing seasons for the New York Giants. It's a 9-yard rip for Bradshaw and a first down. Defensively for Miami, Cameron Wake, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. He proves it every time he's on the field. Linebackers for Miami, you've got Philip Wheeler, who was originally drafted by Indianapolis, 3rd round 2008. And in the secondary, Nolan Carroll getting the start. Dimitri Patterson is banged up. Patterson dealing with a groin injury. The connection made with Havili, the fullback, and a 5-yard gain through the air for Indianapolis as Koa Misi comes over to make the stop for Miami.
That's the first catch of the year for Havili. He is so important for this offense for the Colts because he's such a good receiver out of the fullback position that they can use him out in the flat as they did that time as a safety valve and know he'll come through.
It'll be a 3-receiver set on a 2nd and 5. T.Y. Hilton joins Hayward Bay and Reggie Wayne.
Let it roll.
Colts running a 7-game home winning streak. Firing. Oh, it bounces into the hands of T.Y. Hilton. Hayward Bay couldn't catch it, and Hilton does when things are going your way. They're just going your way. 20 yards on the hookup. Hilton, not the intended receiver.
Well, it's from Luck, so it's really good luck on this play. Hayward Bay should have made that catch. It was right in his breadbasket. Heads up by Hilton to see the carom and then get after it. But that ball knocked out at the last minute by Grimes. He got his left hand in there, and that's why DHB couldn't come down with it.
Last week, Luck completed his first 11 passes in that 21-17 win over Oakland. He's 3 of 3 thus far. Now in Miami territory, the running play. Bradshaw chewing up yards across the 35. Donald Thomas with a block up front. Bradshaw turns it into a 9-yard gain. He had surgery in January on his right foot. The New York Giants didn't re-sign him, felt that they had David Wilson ready to go. Wilson obviously has had the fumbling problems, and now Bradshaw getting the opportunity here with Indianapolis after the injury to Vic Ballard. 2nd and 1 for the Colts, just underway here. Luck from the gun. Loops one to the end zone. Incomplete. Hayward Bay, the intended receiver, in a matchup with Carroll.
Yeah, with the injury to Dimitri Patterson, and with Carroll starting today, talking to Pep Hamilton about his game plan, he said that even if Patterson had been totally healthy, he likes his chances with 3 wide receivers against his Miami defense. The key, though, is to protect Luck, which they have done beautifully so far in this opening drive.
Pep Hamilton came over from Stanford, so there's the familiarity and the comfort level working with Andrew Luck. He was his offensive coordinator in college. 3rd and 1 now for Indy. Bradshaw in the backfield. Play fake. Luck unable to make the connection to Hayward Bay. And right now Indy's looking at a 52-yard field goal attempt or 4th and 1. Brent Grimes back there defensively.
There's 2 good plays by Grimes on this opening series defensively for Miami. That's unusual to go the other side of the receiver to knock the ball away with his right hand, but he did it beautifully.
Adam Vinatieri will come on to attempt a 52-yarder. Knocked through a 53-yarder last season. Trying to get the Colts on the board here. The veteran Vinatieri in his 18th year. Off the upright. No good. Colts have nothing to show for that opening drive. No score. Dolphins and the Colts. Miami will have the football for the first time when we come back. 40-year-old Adam Vinatieri missing from 52 yards away, and the Dolphins take over. Excellent field position from the 42. Tannehill knocked down on his first attempt. Ricky Jean-Francois getting his hand on that. And Ryan Tannehill in his 2nd year in the league, the number 8 pick overall in last year's draft, the year that Andrew Luck went number 1.
He told us yesterday the biggest thing he and his teammates learned from last year's loss to the Colts: must perform better at the end of the first half and at the end of the game. Too many wasted opportunities in that 3-point loss.
On 2nd and 10, trying to get the running game going, and Miller getting to the 2nd level. Longest run last week for Miami was 5 yards. They've already topped that mark. As we check out the Miami offense, Tyson Clabo is one of the new faces, came over from Atlanta. The backs and receivers, Mike Wallace, just 1 catch last week. He was targeted 5 times. Wallace signed the 5-year, $60 million deal, coming over as a free agent from Pittsburgh. 3rd and 3. Gibson out there as the 3rd receiver. Shotgun formation for Tannehill. Tannehill looks. Tannehill throws over the middle. And a diving catch made by Wallace. It's a first down in Indy territory. So already they get Wallace involved for 13 yards.
Well, Wallace does a super job of finding his way across the middle, weaving his way between defenders and then going down low to make this catch. Smart play by Tannehill to step up into the pocket and deliver.
Wallace, 1 career game against the Colts. It was back in 2011. Had 5 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown. Back to the ground game. Miller, good strong cut up the field across the 35 and picks up 6 yards. Pat Angerer with the tackle for Indianapolis. Defensively for the Colts, Corey Redding. He brings that leadership, veteran presence for this Indy D. Linebackers, Eric Walden is a former Miami Dolphin, signed a 4-year, $16 million deal with the Colts during the offseason. Vontae Davis, former Dolphin, came over in a trade last year for a 2nd-round pick. 2nd and 4 now for the Dolphins. Play action. They hit Mike Wallace on the quick hitter. Greg Toller drawing the coverage, 15 yards, and they're in the red zone now, lined up at the 18-yard line of Indy.
Well, single coverage on the outside. Tannehill read it. Wallace gets inside of Toller on the slant route. And you go back to this first reception, it's tough to double team a receiver's running a crossing route as he did on that first completion.
On first down now for Miami. Dolphins threatening on their first possession of the day. Wide receiver screen. Wallace with the catch. Turns it upfield. Wallace has got a hole. And he's in. Touchdown, Miami. Tyson Clabo with a key block. Springing Wallace loose for 18. You think he's in the game plan?
Well, they're not forcing him the ball either. They're just seeing that he's open on these shorter routes. Great block on the outside, not only by Clabo, but Clay got out there as well. And all that speed, he got into the end zone relatively easily.
Caleb Sturgis on. Rookie out of Florida, 5th-round draft pick. Tacks on the extra point. 6 plays, 58 yards. Wallace accounted for 46 of them. Tannehill and Wallace get it started for Miami.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Microsoft Surface. Click in and do more. And by the new 4-door Fiat 500L.
$58-yard drive.
Mike Wallace frustrated and upset a week ago, even after a win over Cleveland, just for not being involved offensively. And Joe Philbin told us, look, we want players that want to make an impact. But I told Mike Wallace that our philosophy isn't to get the ball to one guy. It's whatever's available. Mike Wallace was available on that first possession. Sturgis, the kickoff to Kerwin Williams. And Williams carries to the 20-yard line. Deion Jordan making the play on special teams.
Really great execution by the Dolphins. Watch Clabo and Clay, and then also the center Pouncey get out in front. This is exactly the way you draw it up. Clay with the kick out block. Clay as well. Wallace cuts in front. And how about Pouncey being 15 yards down the field to take Bethea out of the play?
So last week targeted 5 times, the 1 catch, 3 targets so far, 3 receptions for Wallace and the touchdown. Line of scrimmage is the 19-yard line. Second possession for Indianapolis. Luck on a dump off. Bradshaw with the spin. Bradshaw the acceleration. And caught from behind by Donnell Ellerby, who got faked out on the play initially. Bradshaw with 14 yards on the catch and run.
Yeah, Bradshaw really looks good so far with quickness, explosion, and that time with a move on Ellerby. Froze him at the line of scrimmage after the catch, and then got up the sideline for the first down.
Bradshaw's dealt with foot and ankle injuries over the last couple of years. Signed a 1-year, $2 million deal with the Colts. Won a pair of Super Bowls with the Giants. And stick with the hot hand. Bradshaw brought down after the gain of 3 as he takes it to the 36. Philip Wheeler, the former Colt, in on that stop.
Yeah, Pep Hamilton likes Bradshaw's instincts when he runs between the tackle. And like most running backs, he gets better with more touches. Hamilton wants to get him lathered up early, and he is.
And a solid receiver as well, so they do get that aspect in the running game, someone that can catch the football and be another weapon for Andrew Luck. 2nd and 7, Luck. Quick throw to Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, if you blitz Andrew Luck, as the Dolphins do this time, you better play a little bit tighter on number 87. Jones way off, and easy completion for 14 yards. Luck, perfect read of the blitz and the hot adjustment to the wide receiver.
Last week, 8 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. He's building a Hall of Fame resume. Reggie Wayne now in his 13th year in the NFL. Colts on the move again. Play action. Luck rifles. Diving attempt by Fleener, unable to haul it in.
Now Pep Hamilton just loves Fleener. He coached him at Stanford. 2nd-round pick. Finally, the Dolphins will get some pressure on Luck, but it's not until he releases the ball. This is a pretty good shot right there. Clean shot by Soliai. But Fleener, great talent. Been battling injuries throughout this young season.
Jimmy Wilson in as the nickel for Miami. This is a 2nd and 10 for Indianapolis. Dolphins with a 7-0 lead. Bradshaw stays in there. Luck under pressure. Underneath route. Wayne fighting upfield. He'll come up short of the first down. It's an 8-yard pickup. Well, back in November of last year, Miami put a lot of pressure on Andrew Luck, but without much in way of results. They only registered the 1 sack, didn't force any turnovers. Indianapolis won the game 23-20. Empty backfield here for Luck, working out of the gun on 3rd and 2 now. Moving pocket, Luck. Touch pass to the outside, and he's feeding it to Reggie Wayne. New set of downs for the Colts to work with, and Wayne is slow to get up.
Yeah, that hard tackle by Jimmy Wilson on Wayne. They've knocked the wind out of him. Good sign that he's back up. He'll take a breather, though, as T.Y. Hilton will come in for him. Just a sharp route to the outside. The timing perfect with his quarterback. They spent a lot of time working together. Very similar to the way Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison worked so many hours by themselves. Wayne doing the same thing now with his young quarterback.
NFL record, Reggie Wayne, 66 straight games with 3 or more catches. Bradshaw did a lot of dancing. There was no hole for him. He does turn it into a 3-yard gain as he plunges forward. Donnell Ellerbe, big free agent signing, 5 years, $35 million, coming over from Baltimore. Won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, making that play.
One of the things the Colts are doing offensively, they're going with an unbalanced line. They're flopping Anthony Costanzo over to the strong side next to Sherrillis, and having the tight end Dominic Jones play on the weak side. Now they're normal on this one, Ian.
Wayne is back in, Dan, so just 1 play off for Reggie Wayne. 2nd and 7 now for Indy. Jones shifts to the backfield. Luck off the play fake. Steps. Comes in. T.Y. Hilton. Nice little curl by Hilton to pick up some extra yards. Hilton's got dynamic speed. 22 yards on the hookup.
And it's back-to-back targets at Jimmy Wilson. We have a Colt down on the field. This is Donald Thomas, left guard, and they're checking out his right leg.
Thomas came over as a free agent from New England. We'll step aside as they check him out. The injured Colt is Donald Thomas, 6-year veteran. Was actually a walk-on at UConn. Hasn't been a starter since 2009, but the Colts took him in free agency, and they're checking out that right leg of Thomas. Take a look at what happened here with Thomas. They're bringing the card out for him.
Now here's Thomas, number 66. Real wide base there, and happens so often in all this traffic. You can see the right knee just kind of give away as he makes contact with his center, Samson Satelli. That's a big man at 306 pounds.
Well, a bigger man would step in terms of weight. Hugh Thornton, rookie out of Illinois, 3rd-round pick.
And in talking to Ryan Grigson, general manager, at practice the other day, he really is high on Hugh Thornton.
Thomas was originally drafted by Miami, a 6th-round pick in 2008. Also played with Detroit, and most recently with New England. So an offensive line that's been under heavy scrutiny after the performance from a week ago, and also the tweet that went out.
And they've been doing a great job in this first quarter. Luck has thrown a number of times. 11 times he's gone back to pass, and he's only been knocked down that one time. No sacks at all. But this is a big loss, no question. A starter going out and a rookie coming in.
Jim Irsay, the owner, is very active on Twitter and voiced his concerns about the offensive line earlier in the week. General manager Ryan Grigson, the NFL Executive of the Year in 2012, he made some changes with Thomas and Sherrillis, the new faces on that O-line, and a 3rd-round draft pick. Hugh Thornton, who now steps in, number 69. 3 receivers set. Colts continue to move it down the field. They are inside the 15 on Miami. Ninth play of the drive. Luck will shift Bradshaw over. We'll hit the 5-minute mark. Luck offline. Hayward Bay, the intended target.
Now you can see they're just a little bit off on this route. Still learning each other. Hayward Bay coming over from the Raiders. He thinks he should continue on the inside. Luck was trying to throw him away from the defense. You can see Ellerby coming over.
They're going with 6 offensive linemen. Joe writes that is every offensive lineman that is active for the Colts here today on the field.
Wright's a tight end here.
On 2nd and 10, running play, Bradshaw, and he runs into a crowd. Nothing there as he picks up a yard and a half or 2, depending on the spot. It sets up 3rd and long now for Indy.
And what so often happens after an injury really has stopped the momentum that the Colts had on this drive. And through no fault of their own, they're having a little bit of trouble getting restarted, if you will.
Pep Hamilton had NFL experience as a coach with the Jets, San Francisco, and Chicago before moving on to Stanford. Was a quarterback during his playing days at Howard University. 3rd and 8 now for the Colts. They trail Miami 7-0. Luck looks. Luck throws. End zone. It's tipped. Incomplete. Clemens gets a piece of it. Reggie Wayne was the intended receiver. It's 4th down.
Great reaction by Chris Clemens, number 30. Watch as that ball is in the air. He's going to just flash right in front of Wayne. That was a fastball from Luck and a great play by Chris Clemens.
Adam Vinatieri on for a much shorter field goal attempt than the first one he had. 52 yards earlier. This is a 30-yard attempt for the 4-time Super Bowl champion Vinatieri. He knocks it through to get Indianapolis on the board. It's 7-3 Miami. 4:07 to play. We're in the first quarter. From Indy.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Order from Domino's.com today and don't forget to track your order. And by FedEx. Request when and where your packages are delivered with FedEx Delivery Manager.
Miami with a 7-3 lead over Indianapolis. This is a Dolphin team that went 7-9 last year. They haven't finished over 500 since 2008. They won the AFC East that year. Indianapolis with a 12-play 69-yard drive have to settle for the field goal. Andrew Luck got rid of the neck beard. I know you were very offended when he came in for the meetings.
Well, you know, it's just a week away from World Beard Day, which was the first Saturday of each September, and he wasn't aware of that, but I guarantee you he's aware of it now.
Well, you made it pretty clear that all men with beards really should keep the beards anytime you're around World Beard Day. So I think Andrew heard you loud and clear. Pat McAfee on the kickoff. Marcus Thigpen, the return man. Dolphins will have it at the 20. So far, a lot of Mike Wallace for Miami.
Yeah, 13 yards as he beats the zone here. Then he beats man-to-man of Greg Toller for 15. And then great blocking, great execution by the Dolphins. Blocks by Clabo, Clay, and Pouncey. 18-yard touchdown. That's his first as a Dolphin, his 33rd of his career. But he couldn't ask for a better start for this Dolphin offense. They took advantage of that short field after the missed Vinatieri field goal.
Mike Wallace, a Pro Bowler with Pittsburgh in 2011, 3rd-round pick back in 2009 out of Mississippi. Handoff to Lamar Miller, and not much there. Picks up 3 yards. Gene Francois, the former San Francisco 49er, in on the stop for the Colts.
That's the 3rd carry of the first quarter for Miller. We should see Daniel Thomas as well for the Dolphins.
How about Miami's practice schedule, Dan? Thursday is now their off day. Normally around the NFL, it's Tuesday. That's been the conventional rest day around the league. 2nd and 7 now for Miami. Working out of the gun, Tannehill. Tannehill pulls the trigger. Oh, he's got Clay breaking free. Charles Clay, it's a foot race. Clay driven out of bounds inside the 10. Chased down by LaRon Landry. Clay stepping in for the injured Dustin Keller at starting tight end. Huge play for the Miami offense.
Good protection for Tannehill. This ball almost intercepted by Bethea. Clay getting behind Anger. Great effort by Landry to bring him down, keep him out of the end zone, but 67 yards, and the Dolphins are back in business.
They spot the football at the 10. First and goal for Miami. Miller in the backfield. Miller gets the call. Trying to turn the corner. He does. Touchdown, Dolphins. Lamar Miller, a 10-yard touchdown run to add to the Miami lead.
Yeah, he faked like he was going to go off tackle between the guard and the tackle, and then sucked in the corner on that side. Vontae Davis, a former Dolphin. Watch this vision here as Davis is following Hartline into the interior, and the speed of Miller surprises everybody.
Lamar Miller, his second year, 4th round draft pick. They love his potential. It's just a lack of experience with Miller taking over for Reggie Bush, who signed as a free agent with Detroit. 3 plays, 80 yards. Miami mixing it up. They've got a 14-3 lead. They're all over the Colts early.
You are watching the NFL on CBS.
It took 1:13 to go 80 yards for the Miami Dolphins offense. The big play to Clay. And then Miller takes it in for the touchdown. 14-3 lead for the Dolphins. Caleb Sturgis will kick it off to Kerwin Williams.
Really a game of inches. We saw Vinatieri miss a field goal that hit the upright, and then Bethea misses an interception opportunity on that play, and Clay takes it 67 to set up that touchdown.
Last season, Miami had 3 pass plays of 40 yards or more. That was the lowest total in the NFL. They certainly are going to have more chances, a more dynamic offense for Tannehill this season.
Take a look at the touchdown run. Watch Landry here. He's going to be totally unblocked. So Miller sees that, bounces to the outside, and because Vontae Davis is in man-to-man coverage with Hartline, it's a walk into the end zone. But great vision here. As you can see, Landry comes up inside. Miller sees him, bounces to the outside, and scores.
So Andrew Luck and the Colts offense back out there with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Donald Brown will now get his opportunity. Brown in his 5th year from Connecticut. Dominic Jones will shift in front of him. It's a pitch for the speedster Brown. Brown through the hole and goes airborne for a 6-yard gain. It's not too late to sign up and play NFL.com. Fantasy football. Get free mobile apps, exclusive instant highlights. Sign in and play for free at NFL.com/fantasy. Ryan Tannehill, 4 of 5, 113 yards and a touchdown. Andrew Luck is 8 of 13 for 89 yards. 14-3, Dolphins leading the Colts. We come up on 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Brown still in there, and here's Luck. Perfectly placed to Kobe Fleener. Fleener breaks a tackle. Finally driven down inside the 35. Rashad Jones had that initial shot at Fleener, and the stiff arm helped get him extra yards for 40.
And another potential interception here this time. Watch Fleener, right side of the screen. That ball perfectly thrown by Andrew Luck. It's away from the linebacker there. And the tight end's coming up big here in the first half.
So after the 40-yard pass play, line of scrimmage is inside the 35. And again, Brown the zigzag, and he just doesn't have room along that sideline. He picks up 4. Jared Odrick missed him initially, and Brown was able to turn it upfield for some yards.
That last play to Fleener was an example of taking advantage of a mismatch. You have your tight end being covered by Olivier Vernon, a linebacker / defensive end, and he was just inches away from knocking that ball down or picking it off.
Donald Thomas for Indianapolis is out with that right knee injury, so Hugh Thornton is now stepping in at left guard. 2nd and 6 for Indy. From the gun. Luck steps up. Luck loses the football. That's scooped up by Brown. Miami getting pressure as Derek Shelby jarred it loose, the second-year defensive lineman from Utah.
Shows you how strong Luck is to not go down, but the ball getting punched out. Shelby at 280 pounds is going to just get enough of Luck to force that ball out. That heads up. Donald Brown saves the day.
They've got a bunch of guys that can make plays on that defensive line with Wake and Odrick, Soliai, Starks, Shelby. 3rd and 7 now for Indianapolis. 30 seconds to go now in the first quarter. Luck with a deep drop. Luck fires. It's a strike. T.Y. Hilton sliding grab. And a new set of downs for the Colts to work with. 13 yards on the pass play.
Well, Hilton with another catch, and it's again man-to-man because the Dolphins choose to blitz. Kevin Coyle, their defensive coordinator, had a lot of success with that type of strategy against Cleveland last week. Not working so far. Now the Dolphins are going to have to call timeout or the end of the quarter.
Looked like Luck and the Colts were going to try to get a play in as time ran out here at the end of the first. So we'll step aside. 14-3, Miami leading Indianapolis. We'll return to Lucas Oil Stadium after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Over 300 yards of combined offense in that first quarter. Miami leading Indianapolis 14-3. Ian Eagle, Hall of Famer Dan Fouts, and the rest of our CBS crew. Andrew Luck, 10 of 15, 141 yards, and now trying to get the Colts in the end zone. 1st and 10 from the 19 of Miami. Give it to Brown. Brown with a stiff arm and shoved down by Rashad Jones. A collision, including a security guard along the sideline. They're checking on him. Jones is a thumper at 6'1", 215 pounds.
And watch the stiff arm by Donald Brown. So the stiff arm and then the tackle, that should have been flagged on Jones. The stiff arm is legal here, but Jones takes him to the sideline and then 8 to 10 feet beyond.
Rashad Jones, one of 6 fifth-round picks on this Miami roster. Luck throws. Nobody home. Fans waiting for a flag. Fleener in a matchup with the safety Clemens. It's 3rd down for Indianapolis.
Well, the Dolphins are getting the benefit of the no call here. That's a grab there. That's pass interference on Clemens. Fleener goes at 6'6", so Luck is going to put it up in the air. Fleener caught 10 touchdowns for the Cardinals 2 years ago as a senior tight end.
Now, this is the area where Indianapolis has had 2 drives stall already in this first half. Trying to avoid it for a 3rd time. 3 receivers set on a 3rd and 7 now for the Colts. Play clock is down to 2, down to 1. Luck steps. Luck's going to run. Luck the cut. Andrew Luck. And we asked him about the running. He said, look, when the pocket collapses, you got to be smart. And I feel like my decision making has improved from last season to this season in terms of running the football.
Well, that looks so much like the game winner last week against Oakland. Instead, he cut it back towards the middle because of the defense. Knew what he had to get for the first down and picks up 9 yards and that first down. Another heads-up play by Andrew Luck. What a surprise, huh?
1st and goal for Indianapolis. Bradshaw in the backfield for the Colts. Fake the handoff. Luck. High throw handled by Hayward Bay. 4-yard gain through the air for Indy. Brent Grimes back there defensively for Miami.
Well, Grimes just giving him way too much room there on the goal line. Super catch by Hayward Bay with his hands away from his body. That's been a problem for Hayward Bay with his days with the Oakland Raiders. Too many drop passes, but that time he hauled in a big one.
Signed a 1-year, $3 million deal with Indianapolis. 7th overall pick by Oakland back in 2009. Second and goal now for the Colts. Trying to cut into this Miami lead. From the gun, Luck. Luck fires. Fleener is there. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Strong drive by the Colts.
A good combination route here for Andrew Luck and the Dolphins. Here is Fleener, and he's going to be working on Jimmy Thomas to the corner. But so much attention has to be paid to Reggie Wayne as they switch assignments there. And Jones late getting over the tight end. Really a well-designed and executed play for the Colts offense.
The injury to Dwayne Allen, a little more responsibility for Fleener. Allen actually had a career-high 6 catches against Miami last season, so certainly they see something with the tight ends against Miami, and they're taking advantage of it. 10 plays, 80 yards, 14-10. Dolphins in front. The Stanford connection. Luck to Fleener. He was held to just 1 catch last week. Fleener dealt with a concussion and a knee injury in the preseason. Fleener with 2 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown here in this first half for Indianapolis. 14-10, Dolphins leading the Colts. McAfee will now kick it off to Marcus Thigpen. Among the league leaders in kickoff returns and punt returns last season. And no return there for Thigpen. 1 week from tomorrow, get ready for a new thriller from executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer. Dylan McDermott and Toni Collette star in Hostages. It premieres Monday, September 23rd, only CBS. So Miami takes over with a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 13:01 to play in the second quarter. Daniel Thomas is in. 14 points in the first quarter, most they've scored in the first quarter since November of 2011. That's 25 games. Tannehill throwing. It's off the hands of Clay. Incomplete. You know, Dan, I brought this up earlier, the change in practice schedule, and now the off day for Miami. Joe Philbin deciding to go with Thursday. Why do you think he made that change, and is it something that could catch on the rest of the league?
He wants them to be fresher at the end of the week. They get their game plan earlier. But the question is, down later in the season with injuries piling up, will players be able to practice early in the week?
Tannehill on the quick throw to Mike Wallace.
You know, the other thing, Ian, is that for the coaches, they get to work on their next opponent on Thursday. So with that day off on Thursday, and they have time to focus on the practice time without the pressure. So the big thing I talked to Kevin Coyle about this, is they like it so far, but it is a long season, and there are questions, and Philbin is willing to adjust as the season goes along.
Crowd is charged up on a 3rd and 4, trying to cheer on this defense. 5 receivers set for Miami. Tannehill has time. Tannehill. Oh, great grab by Hartline. Over the shoulder. Hartline continues to be so steady for this Miami offense, and that's 24 yards. Terrific chemistry between Tannehill and Hartline.
Yeah, working inside there against Darius Butler. Ball perfectly thrown by Tannehill. 10th catch of the season, and this one was not easy at all.
Signed a 5-year, $30 million deal. He had 9 catches for 114 yards and a touchdown last week in that win over Cleveland. First down for Miami. Tannehill a little bit high. Wallace couldn't handle it. It was on his shoulder, and Greg Toller with the stick.
Yeah, this ball should have been caught by Mike Wallace, thrown high and hard, but you don't want to hang that receiver out by throwing him a soft one out there. You can see the disappointment on Wallace. It would have been for a short gain, but a gain nonetheless.
Ryan Tannehill out of Big Spring, Texas. Bootleg. Rush is coming. Tannehill gets rid of it. And Hartline takes a shot. LaRon Landry laying the wood.
And look at those arms that brings the wood. This is a dangerous pass by Tannehill. Davis with great coverage and a good shoulder hit by Landry.
It was like dominoes.
Yeah, a good clean hit by Landry on Hartline.
He hit Hartline and he hit his old man Davis in the process.
He'll do that.
3rd and 10. Crowd is energized. Miami playing with a 14-10 lead. Tannehill under pressure. Tannehill is dumped. A combination busting through, including Pat Angerer. Miami will punt.
Well, it's a blitz by the Colts. Around the corner comes Bjorn Werner. Up the middle, Anger comes. Just too many blue shirts for the Dolphins to protect the quarterback. 8-yard loss.
So the rookie out of Florida State involved in the play, Bjorn Werner, 24th pick in the 1st round. Angerer was there. Jarrell Freeman came in at the end. And Brandon Fields, one of the best punters in the NFL, gets that one off the side of his foot. Indianapolis is going to have good field position. Fields averaged 50 yards per punt last season. Nowhere near that on the first attempt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by TD Ameritrade. American Express. This is what membership is. This is what membership does. And by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more.
14-10, Miami leading Indianapolis. Coming up next, it is the Manning Bowl. Peyton and the Broncos battle Eli and the Giants. Jacksonville also matches up with Oakland. We'll have the action for you, the NFL on CBS.
Yeah, they really ought to play this game in Philadelphia.
Why's that?
Brotherly love, perhaps?
Oh, didn't see that one coming.
Good. I like to get you every once in a while.
Peyton is 2-0 against Eli. I mean, they could just move it from New Jersey to Philly.
Neutral field.
I'll talk to Goodell about that. Ahmad Bradshaw in the backfield. Joe Wright is in. So we've seen this look now with Wright set up as a tight end. It was a 25-yard punt for Fields. From the 33, Bradshaw is brought down. A gain of 1. Donnell Ellerby along with Odrick in on the stop.
Yeah, you go back to that 25-yard punt by Fields. Real good pressure by the Colts. Sergio Brown almost got in there to block it, and I think that affected the punt by Fields.
It's a Colts team that's won 7 straight games at home going back to last year. On a dump off, T.Y. Hilton in a crowd able to emerge through it and take it to the 40-yard line. Right now, let's send it to New York. NFL Today update, JB and Shannon.
Ooh, Green Bay means business, Shannon.
This is what we call a long handoff. When you're as accurate as Aaron Rodgers, 14 yards. Jordy Nelson. Aaron Rodgers, 16 to 20, 200 yards, 2 TDs, 17-0.
Slinging it like Dan Fouts, Iron Eagle, and Dan.
Oh, that's right. One day, Aaron very well could be a part of the Hall of Fame the way he's headed. You can pretty much book it for Canton. 3rd and 3 now. Luck operating out of the gun. Looking to convert. Knocked down. Philip Wheeler came flying in to make the play on Luck. It's 4th down.
And don't you know that Wheeler loves this, having played here for the Colts? Watch him come on the blitz. Not picked up at all, up in the air, and down goes the ball.
Spent 4 years with Indianapolis to start his career, 1 year in Oakland, and then signed the big contract with Miami during the offseason. Pat McAfee will punt it. Marcus Thigpen waiting for it at the 15-yard line. High punt. Thigpen backpedaling. He's going to move out of the way. Did he save it? Joe LaFedge. Terrific play on special teams. And a flag comes down. Might have been a celebration.
No, he might have been out of bounds. The hat is off on the official there. So he may have been the first one to touch the ball coming back inbounds. If that's the case, that is a real shame. What a great effort by Joe LaFedge. 59-yard punt would have pinned the Dolphins at about the 2-yard line. But this discussion is about whether he was forced out of bounds or went out of bounds on his own. But he clearly was out of bounds. That's why the official drops his hat to signify that. And LeFevre, first one in to touch the ball. Can't do that.
Clete Blakeman, first penalty marker.
Illegal touch. Kicking team number 30. The player went out of bounds and was the first to touch the ball inside the 5-yard line. Therefore, by rule, the ball is placed at the 20-yard line. First down.
Just had the wrong number. It was LeFevre the whole way. 14-10, Miami in front.
In the circle is Joe LeFevre in blue and Brent Grimes in white. Grimes does a real good job of keeping LeFevre from releasing, getting him out of bounds at midfield. And now LeFevre first to come back and touch the ball. That's why this ball will be placed at the 20-yard line.
So Miami's got it with a 14-10 lead over Indianapolis. Daniel Thomas right up the middle, running in between the tackles. Greg Toller there to greet him. 6-yard pickup for Thomas. Brings a little something different than Lamar Miller, physical inside runner. Miller's got more of that outside speed.
5 rushes, 11 passes for Tannehill and the Dolphins.
We asked Tannehill about the difference between year 1 and year 2. He just said, I'm much more comfortable. I'm seeing things a lot quicker. I'm adjusting easier than I did a year ago. Tannehill over the middle for Wallace. And brought down by Freeman by the ankles. Jarrell Freeman, the linebacker, matched up with the speedster Mike Wallace. You know, we mentioned that Tannehill's from Big Spring, Texas. Andrew Luck is from Houston. They actually met in 2011 at the Manning Passing Academy. And they've been in one another's company now a few times since that point, have mutual admiration.
And they like each other.
Yeah. Is that allowed, or were you allowed to like other quarterbacks?
No, are you kidding? In my day, like another player on the other team?
You didn't like Ken Stabler, you're saying?
Well, I make exceptions.
Yeah, you liked him.
Him and Plunkett were great.
Here's Tannehill. Sideline route. Hartline. It's a clean catch for Hartline. Anybody you talk to with Miami tells you about the respect they have for Hartline, how hard he works, consistently trying to improve his skills, and he's really turned himself into a player.
Well, you can just see the skills on display there. He faked a short route, then cut quickly to the outside, and then did the toe tap on the sidelines. He did it all.
Tannehill lost the ball. It was scooped up by Tyler Klutz. And Klutz is hit right there.
That begs the question, who was the Klutz on that play?
It does beg the question, and it was Tannehill.
And then it was Klutz. Heads up by Klutz to get a half a yard out of that fumble recovery.
That one I knew was coming. That one I saw. You telegraphed that after the 3-second pause. You were contemplating, and you went for it.
Always. You got to go for it. Always.
We come up on 7 minutes to go in this first half. To Wallace. Mike Wallace spilled out short of midfield by Vontae Davis. So the former Dolphin making the play, limiting Wallace to a 4-yard pickup.
And what Davis does on this play is he avoids the block and then makes the tackle. This is a super play when you consider the speed of Wallace and then trying to get to the outside down the sidelines. Vontae Davis with a big play.
Darius Butler in as the nickel. Bjorn Werner in there as well to rush the QB. 3rd and 6 now for Tannehill and the Dolphins. Under pressure, throws, and it's broken up. Clay in a matchup with Buffet, and the 2-time Pro Bowler wins the battle.
Yeah, a super play by Buffet. Here they are. Here's Clay and here's Buffet. It looked like Clay was going to get this catch, but the left hand gets in there and punches it out. Perfect timing by Antoine Buffet.
Brandon Fields will punt it. The first one was 25 yards. And this time Fields gets all of it. T.Y. Hilton, the return man, lets it bounce. And it's scooped up. It was never touched. So that allowed Darius Butler A heads-up play to pick up some yards, about 7 after the punt of 42 yards. 14-10, Miami leading Indy in the second.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by oneandone.com. Pre-reserved now from over 700 new domains with oneandone.com.
Sunny day here in Indianapolis, and the sun actually played a role with T.Y. Hilton attempting to return that punt. He lost it in the sun. Tannehill and Luck both having excellent first halves. And a 1st and 10 now for Indianapolis with Donald Brown. Explodes through that running lane. 9.5 or 10 yards depending on the spot. Mike McGlynn with a key block. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Preview of the Manning Bowl and all the latest NFL scores and highlights that's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Luck off the play fake. And against the grain to Fleener. Kobe Fleener. Philip Wheeler finally brings him down. But the Luck to Fleener connection is working. 18 yards for Indy.
Well, he's got 3 catches on the day after only having 1 last week against the Raiders. But really good job by Fleener hiding in there on the play fake and then releasing late. Linebackers lost him. He's out to midfield.
Andrew Luck is 8-1 at home. Came into the day 128 straight passes without an interception. He has thrown 21 times here this afternoon. This will be number 22. Luck offline. T.Y. Hilton. He was open and Luck could not deliver it. Incomplete.
Well, Luck had other things on his mind. One of them getting away from Randy Starks. Starks with good pressure forced Luck into the pocket and hurried this throw. And Hilton just couldn't stop to get back to it before Clemens hit him. Dolphins will use Randy Starks, Paul Soliai, and Jason Odrick, or Jared rather, in a 3-man rotation.
And all of them versatile. You can play them inside, you can play them outside, you can mix and match. 2nd and 10 now for the Colts, under 5 minutes to go. To the flat. Trying to get Hayward Bay out in space. And he's brought down in Miami territory. A 5-yard pickup through the air.
Well, one thing the Colts have done a great job. We haven't called Cameron Wake's name hardly at all today.
Wake is coming off a huge game.
Yeah, 2.5 sacks last week. But so far, the attention that the Colts have given him have kept him away from Luck.
Wake now with 45.5 career sacks. That was his 10th multi-sack game in the NFL, now in his 5th year. On 3rd down, Luck sets, almost intercepted. Brent Grimes jumping in front of T.Y. Hilton. And the Colts will punt it away.
Yeah, they talk about Grimes having freakish athletic talent. And there's a good example of it right there. Great feet, great effort, and his hands betrayed him.
Went to the Pro Bowl for Atlanta in 2010. Dealt with a torn Achilles last year, was put on IR by the Falcons, signed a 1-year, $5.5 million deal with Miami. Well, the defenses have caught up a bit after great offense to open things up. McAfee punting to Thigpen, and this one's going to roll in. Miami will have it at the 20 when we come back. 4:09 remaining in the first half. The 47-yard punt. Coming this fall, Academy Award winner Robin Williams returns to television in The Crazy Ones. It premieres Thursday, September 26th, only CBS.
That is a well-named show because he is certifiably crazy.
He's a Bay Area guy like you.
Runs in something about the water out there.
I think so. Andrew Luck, he's been hurried. 1 sack for the Miami defense. And Miami takes over 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. Lamar Miller returns for the Dolphins. Miller gets the call. And Miller slipping through, working to the outside, an 8-yard pickup. Good block by Incognito. Clock is rolling, under 4 minutes to go in this second quarter.
Pretty good battle so far between these second-year quarterbacks, and the rushing improved for both teams.
The fact that both quarterbacks are working with their college coaches is a rarity in this league. Pat Angerer hit by Lamar Miller. Defensively, Angerer making that play as Miller had nowhere to go.
Yeah, good job up front by that Colt defensive line to get a standoff there. And then that's exactly what your middle linebacker wants, is the ability to run through and finish off the play when he's totally unblocked.
3rd and 1 now. Klutz in front of Thomas. Tannehill to throw it. Incomplete. Angerer got over to deal with Klutz. And Miami will punt.
That's not an easy play for a middle linebacker, though, but because the fullback has to come from such a long way, it's kind of an even race here. Good closing speed by Angerer. That ball, even if it had been caught by Klutz, they wouldn't have been able to pick up the first down. But you're right about the defense is settling in, Ian. There's 3 straight possessions now that they've stopped the opposing offense.
Miami had 2 early touchdowns and now punting for the 3rd straight time with Fields. T.Y. Hilton moves over. It takes a Miami roll and probably could have let it roll a little bit more. Stanford. Coming up, Verizon halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cower. Preview of the Manning Bowl. NFL scores and highlights. It's coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Also wanted to take a moment to send our thoughts and prayers to the NFL Today's Jason La Canfora and his wife Lauren. Lauren was the victim of a hit-and-run accident near their home this weekend in the Baltimore area, and everybody here at CBS wishes her a very speedy recovery. Ball is spotted at the 22-yard line with 2:42 to play, first half. Luck with 177 yards through the air and a touchdown. Fake the handoff. Luck lets it fly. Hilton with the catch, and he gets stamped by Jones. Holds on to the football. It's 18 yards.
But Ian, you talked about the relationship of these quarterbacks with their college coaches. You could see it in action right there, because before the ball was snapped, Luck had to come over and talk to both Wayne and T.Y. Hilton, get them straightened out, because Luck is so familiar with the offense. It's the same one he ran at Stanford. He's like a coach on the field.
Yeah, he said last year he had as many questions as everybody else did. Luck, deep ball. Oh, what a grab! T.Y. Hilton, acrobatic. Matched up with Brent Grimes, and Hilton wins the battle. 47 yards on the hookup. Major highlight. 2-minute warning. Last year in the win over Miami, T.Y. Hilton went for 6 catches, 102 yards and a touchdown. He has topped it already in this first half with a career high 124 yards receiving and a fantastic catch to set Indianapolis up deep in Miami's territory. Moving pocket. Luck. They'll throw it out of bounds. Floats it over the head of Kobe Fleener.
You know, you go back to that great catch by Hilton. It looked like he was covered, but as a quarterback, you have to have the belief that your guy is better than their guy. So in one-on-one coverage with Grimes there, Luck knew that Hilton has great ability to adjust to the pass, but the effort to go over the top of Grimes at just 5'9" was spectacular.
2nd and 10 now for Indianapolis, inside the 15 of Miami. Colts looking for their first lead. Bradshaw keeps on running. Carries to the 5. Comes up a yard and a half shy of a first down.
A great double team there, Gosder and McGlynn. Bradshaw smartly gets in behind those 2 big guys and gets close to a first down.
Timeout called by the Miami Dolphins. We talked about that connection with your college coach and the comfort level, both for Tannehill and Luck. Luck with Pep Hamilton, who was the offensive coordinator at Stanford, and Tannehill with Mike Sherman, who was his head coach at Texas A&M. So Luck and Hamilton have the history on the West Coast. And then Tannehill and Sherman have the history down deep in the heart of Texas.
And remember, Tannehill converted wide receiver, so playing the position of quarterback, he's learning on the fly. But that relationship with his offense coordinator Mike Sherman is absolutely priceless for that type of transition.
Third down, Indianapolis will use a timeout. Colts will have 2 remaining. We have 1:48 left on the clock. So Miami holding on to this 14-10 lead. Indianapolis trying to change it. You know, not everybody can be a quarterback, so get inside the minds of those who can. Dan Fouts, you were a quarterback. Let's get inside your mind.
You really want to go there?
Yeah, I know it's cavernous.
Well, it's a great opportunity here for play action passing. And the Colts, the way that Luck fakes the ball and his relationship with Kobe Fleener, not only at Stanford, but in his last 2 years here in Indy. And he's already caught 1 touchdown pass from his quarterback. That's who I'd be looking for.
On 3rd and 2, it's a pitch. Bradshaw got the angle, but could not get it to the end zone. Just short. It'll be 1st and goal inside the 1. Jimmy Wilson helps save the touchdown.
Really good speed by Bradshaw to get to the outside. Darius Hayward-Bay with a good block, and Costanzo gets out in front. He can't quite get to Jimmy Wilson. Wilson with a super tackle to keep Bradshaw out of the end zone.
8 carries, 40 yards. Timeout called by Miami. And now there will be multiple opportunities here for the Colts to bang this one in. Indianapolis 10-2 in its last 12 regular season games. They went on a tremendous run last year to make the playoffs. All of the emotion with Chuck Pagano took a leave of absence, diagnosed with leukemia. The cancer is now in remission. 1st and goal for the Colts. Trying to take the lead. Bradshaw squeezes in for the touchdown. Indianapolis has come storming back. In the absence of Vic Ballard out for the season with a torn ACL, more responsibility for that man, Ahmad Bradshaw.
And often you see the tailback up over the top. That time Bradshaw took the low road and really squeezed into the end zone with ease. Havili with a good block there. McGlynn comes over. Bradshaw goes low and scores.
Extra point from Vinatieri. 6 plays, 78 yards. It took 1:16. And Indianapolis is in front.
This is almost deja vu for the Miami Dolphins, having struggles at the end of the first half last time these two teams played. And now the Colts taking over that same situation.
.315 yards of offense in the first half for Indianapolis.
Do you have a problem with offense?
No. I was staring right at you when I said it.
Well, I am offensive, but I like this type of ball game.
Miami has 197 yards in the first half, and they now trail 17-14. Ahmad Bradshaw, 7th round draft pick back in 2007 by the Giants out of Marshall. Won a couple of Super Bowls with Big Blue.
Yeah, and the Giants saw him average 4.6 yards a carry last year on 1 foot. Had a couple of surgeries, let him go, and boy, don't they wish they had him back. And aren't they Colts happy, especially with Ballard being down with a season-ending injury.
Giants signed Brandon Jacobs earlier this week, a former Giant most recently with San Francisco, because they needed another body and another option. So it'll be a touchback for Miami. Every Monday, check out CBS Sports Network. You can get inside the minds of the quarterbacks. Phil Simms, Rich Gannon, Steve Bernline, Adam Shine on NFL Monday QB. They're all quarterbacks except Adam. 6:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Packed house here in Indianapolis. Miami has a minute 26 to work with now, down by 3. 14 unanswered by the Colts. Lamar Miller in the backfield. Tannehill, slant to Hartline. Quiets the crowd for a moment. Vontae Davis, former teammate of Hartline's, brings him down. 7-yard pickup. Miami working no huddle, the 2-minute drill. Tannehill now 172 yards and a touchdown. Shifting Miller from the gun. Tannehill, protection is there. And another underneath throw to Mike Wallace. They haven't tried the deep ball to Wallace yet. That's an 8-yard pickup. A lot of time, though, is trickling away, down to 45 seconds left.
And just one timeout, so the Colts know that. They're going to give the Dolphins all of those type of throws.
7 catches now for Wallace in the first half. Tannehill, the bobble, and secured by Charles Clay. Antoine Bethea with a tackle, and just like that, Miami is in Indianapolis territory, trying to get Caleb Sturgis, the All-American from Florida, an opportunity, and a timeout call.
And Sturgis really is an unknown entity. He was perfect last week, 3 for 3, as long as 49, but this is a whole new ball game here at the NFL level. Perfect day for kicking, almost indoors, but no wind at all.
Caleb Sturgis won a national championship with the Gators. His brother Nathan plays MLS for the Colorado Rapids, soccer player. (17-14) Indianapolis. A timeout was by Miami. They have no remaining. 24 seconds left on the clock. 4 receiver set. From the gun. Brandon Gibson, it's ruled incomplete.
And it's better off he didn't catch that one.
Absolutely.
With no timeouts left and the clock running, he wouldn't have gotten out of bounds on that play.
Took the hit from Darius Butler.
You're looking to get him about 10 yards closer for Sturgis to have a realistic shot at a long field goal. 9 yards would give him a 53-yard attempt.
19 seconds left. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins. Tannehill steps, makes the connection. Charles Clay, and the clock is moving. 12 seconds, down to 10 seconds. Miami looking to spike it. 5 seconds. And they stop the clock with 2 seconds remaining, and here comes Sturgis, rookie kicker for the Miami Dolphins, trying to tie the game.
How about Charles Clay's first half? 3 catches for 96 yards.
The way he's
2
been
clutch
able
ones
to work the seams in this first half as well. He's controlled the middle of the field. Caleb Sturgis. This is what Tannehill talked about last year in the meeting with Indianapolis. Did not finish the first half strong, did not finish the fourth quarter strong. They might ice him though. 54-yard attempt. The timeout was taken as Sturgis drilled it. Timeout called by Pagano.
Prior to the snap, Indianapolis takes its 2nd timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Brilliant timeout. Perfect timing by Chuck Pagano. Sturgis hit that one perfectly.
Caleb Sturgis out of St. Augustine, Florida. Here's Pagano. And let's see if it affects the rookie.
That's the key word there, rookie.
54-yard attempt. Looking to tie this one up. Fields will hold it. John Denny will snap it. 54 yards away. Caleb Sturgis. He splits the uprights. 17 all at the end of the first half as Sturgis knocks it through from 54 yards away. The rookie comes through. And that's the end of the first half. We'll come back. The Verizon Halftime Report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Halftime in Indianapolis, the Dolphins and the Colts tied at 17. We welcome you back to the broadcast booth. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Early part of the season, you're still trying to figure everything out, who fits in where. This first half, pretty indicative of what these two offenses are capable of over the long haul.
Well, the Colts ran 42 plays in that first half and had pretty good balance between the rushing and the passing. But what I liked about Miami, they didn't do what they did last year. They finished the first half.
That's right.
They got Sturgis in range to not only kick one 54-yarder, but two because of the timeout by Pagano.
These two teams played a very close, entertaining game a year ago with Indianapolis getting the win late. In that first half, the direct TV ultimate picture cam, it's got to be T.Y. Hilton, the delivery from Andrew Luck.
Just a beautiful pass and great effort as Hilton goes over the top of Grimes, catches the ball and sets up what the Colts needed more than anything, was to get the ball in the end zone on the very next play.
6 catches, 124 yards, a career high for Hilton. T.Y. Hilton in his second year out of Florida International and becoming quite a weapon for Indianapolis, not just on offense, but special teams as well. We'll see how the sun affects punt returns. That was an issue for Hilton in the second quarter. McAfee kicking off to Thigpen. Miami had won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so they get it to start right here. Thigpen busting it to the outside and angled out of bounds. Mike Wallace, huge storyline this week after just one catch in week one, targeted 5 times. He had 7 catches in the first half, targeted 8 times for Miami. And injured Colt on the play. Stan Havili, the fullback. He's up. Formerly the Philadelphia Eagles.
Kind of dragging that right arm. He was motioning to his neck on that side. Maybe have gotten some type of stinger. But he'll shake it off, hopefully, for the Colts.
So Miami's got it with a 1st and 10 at its own 30-yard line and a tie game just underway in the second half. Lamar Miller has emerged as the go-to running back for Miami. Tannehill pump. Safety valve is Miller. And he's brought down at the line of scrimmage by Eric Walden. No gain on the play. Look at the numbers from the first half. Huge numbers offensively for Indianapolis. 315 total yards. Miami goes for 241. Time of possession favors Indianapolis.
That's what I like. That yards per play. Are you kidding me?
2nd and 10 now for Miami. Empty backfield. Spread it out with a 5-receiver set for Tannehill. 209 yards here today for Tannehill, and a timeout called by Indianapolis.
Indianapolis takes its first timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Now that's one that can hurt you later, especially in a close game like this. So 2 timeouts remaining for Chuck Pagano's team. Mike Wallace, the impact he's had here this afternoon.
Well, they got to him on that first drive for 3 catches. Great execution on this little flanker screen pass, and his speed was enough to get in the end zone. But he is involved, and it's not a case where Tannehill's looking for him. It's the design of the offense. Quicker passes to Wallace, getting him over the middle at times where he can get away from the double coverage, but he's such a threat. He opens things up for all the receivers, and Charles Clay has really benefited so far in that first half.
2nd and 10 for Miami. Here's Tannehill out of the pocket. Rush is coming. Tannehill trying to buy some time and throws it to the Colts sideline out of bounds. Bjorn Werner providing some of that heat for Indy.
Werner 6'3", 260 pounds. Robert Mathis takes the inside route. Corey Redding flushes Tannehill out of the pocket. And now here comes Werner to make sure the ball is thrown out of bounds. Dolphins have done a good job containing Robert Mathis in that first half.
And that's who Tannehill was concerned with when we asked him about the Indy defense. He said Mathis always stands out on tape, but they've got playmakers at all levels. 3rd and 10 now. Tannehill hit as he throws. Incomplete. Robert Mathis getting in there on cue.
Well, he said, you can call my name now. Left side of the screen, you're going to see Tannehill get hit right in the back there as Mathis goes around Jonathan Martin. Martin, who used to protect for Andrew Luck in their college days. And Tannehill a little bit shaken up.
Brandon Fields on to punt it. Are they questioning whether or not that was a pass or a fumble? A reaction from this crowd.
Well, Andrew Luck thinks it was a fumble. He's halfway out on the field. And here comes the offense with him.
So Clete Blakeman and the officiating crew. What's your feeling there, Dan?
Well, I think the ball was going forward. The ball was still in his hand. So they'll take a look at this one upstairs. But I think there's got to be an incomplete pass.
The previous play is under review.
We'll step aside.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
This is going to be a tough one for the replay and for Clete Blakeman, because as Freeman hits Tannehill, it looked like Tannehill still had control, but if you go from this other angle, Freeman with his left hand is going to hit the arm of Tannehill and watch the ball come out of the palm of Tannehill, and it's actually pushed forward almost by his wrist.
So it's Freeman getting a piece. Mathis put the pressure on as well. And look, the intent there is to throw the football, obviously. So there's no question whether or not it's a pretty throw is a different issue. And if the ball is knocked free before he got into that full motion, that's what they're dealing with right now to see whether or not it is indeed a fumble.
And it was ruled a fumble. So if they don't have enough evidence to overturn it, then it will be Colt ball here.
So the recovery took place right there by Joe LaFedge. You know, the initial reaction from the players on the field was, well, play over, play whistle dead. You only had 2 players that continued to play as LaFedge scooped the ball up. Clete Blakeman, haven't heard a lot from him today.
After review of the play, the quarterback lost control of the ball prior to his hand coming forward. Therefore, by rule, it is a fumble. The ruling on the field is confirmed. It'll be Indianapolis' ball, 1st and 10.
Turnover, Miami. Indianapolis takes over. Ryan Tannehill fumbles the football, trying to get rid of it. The hit by Freeman and Mathis. And Indy takes over in Miami territory.
So Freeman will get credit not only for causing that fumble, but getting a sack here. Fumble by the quarterback, and you can see the timing there by Freeman perfectly. And really a heads-up play in the secondary by LaFege to pick this ball up, but also coming over there to make sure he doesn't go all the way to the end zone. Looked like Mike Wallace.
So 1st and 10 for the Colts inside the Miami 40. Bradshaw in the backfield. He'll get the call here. Bradshaw off the stutter step. 5-yard pickup right up the gut for Bradshaw. And he's been effective. You have to respect his speed outside, but he's strong enough to slam it inside. Koamisi comes off limping a bit for Miami. 2nd and 5 for the Colts. Early stages, 3rd quarter in a tie game. Luck to throw it. Wide open, Dominique Jones dragged down just short of the 20-yard line, and Luck finding the target 13 yards.
270 pounds of tight end out here. First catch this year, just his 2nd of his career. But he is a load outside and wide open.
Luck now with 255 yards through the air. It's caught. Jones again, and he's down at the 1 in a matchup with Trusnick, who just came in to replace Koamisi. So Indianapolis, they look for a weak link. Trusnick fresh off the sideline.
Trusnick a little late getting over for the coverage too. Well, that's close to, they might want to challenge that one. Too late.
Luck takes it in on a spin.
Well, they did get the challenge flag out, Ian, just in time. I don't think this is a completion. I think as Dominic Jones hit the ground, the ball was on the ground under his body. Good timing there by Philbin.
Miami is challenging the ruling on the field of a catch and the down by contact spot.
So Jones with the grab. It was called a clean catch on the field. They'll take another look at it. The coach's challenge by Joe Philbin of Miami in a tie game. Reggie Wayne curious as to what the call was. He's having a chat with Chuck Pagano. A touchdown was nullified after an illegal shift was called against the Colts.
Well, they said that not everybody was set, but Wayne was in motion. He doesn't have to be set, and it appeared that everybody else was.
McAfee on the kickoff. Marcus Thigpen will take it out. Thigpen with a spin. Thigpen knocked down as he crossed the 30-yard line by Darius Butler. So Indianapolis now in front 20-17. Miami gets the football back. They were able to limit the damage after the turnover.
I got to think that Mike Sherman, offensive coordinator, would like better balance here in the second half. So far they've run 25 pass plays and only 8 runs. Those 8 runs good for 42 yards, but better balance is needed now.
Ryan Tannehill has thrown for 209 yards and a touchdown. Daniel Thomas is in the backfield. Charles Clay goes in motion. On a give for Thomas. Thomas slashing his way out across the 40-yard line. A good block by John Jerry. 12-yard pickup as we send it to New York. JB and Shannon, the Manning Bowl is just around the corner. Gentlemen.
And coming up next, most will see that.
That's the CEO, JB, heading to the office at MetLife Stadium. Always has his game face on. And there's baby brother Eli Manning. Looking to go 0-2, JB. It's going to be a shootout at MetLife.
Ian and the Hall of Famer, Dan Fouts.
All right, guys. Daniel Thomas gets the carry once again. Gets 4 yards to the 46-yard line. Manning versus Manning. First time they'll play one another since Peyton has been in a Bronco uniform. Obviously all the success that Peyton had here in Indianapolis, including the Super Bowl. 2nd and 6 now for the Dolphins. Thomas remains in there. Tannehill to throw it. Tannehill is devoured. Jarrell Freeman wrapping up Tannehill for the sack.
Yeah, the former Saskatchewan Rough Rider only had 2 sacks in his NFL career. He's got 2 today. Number 50 shooting the gap there. He gets by Daniel Thomas. And that may get Thomas a trip to the bench. You got to protect your quarterback.
Freeman spent 3 years in the Canadian Football League, a Division III product out of Mary Hardin Baylor. Second sack for Freeman. 3rd and 13. Tannehill loses the football. It's free. And Thomas able to pounce on it as Mathis knocked it loose. Miami will punt.
He plays the position of rush linebacker, and here he is rushing the quarterback. Going right by Tyson Clabo. Great recovery there by Daniel Thomas, or the Colts would have been in business with great field position.
So it is Thomas on the recovery. 4th down now for Miami. Fields will punt it. T.Y. Hilton waiting for it at the 15-yard line. Hilton's got some room from the 11. Will try to work the perimeter. Flag is thrown as he veers out of bounds across the 15. 53-yard punt, 7-yard return. So Clete Blakeman will make another call after being pretty quiet in that first half.
He's getting a lot of FaceTime here, isn't he?
During the return, holding, return team number 38. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. First down, Indianapolis.
Sergio Brown called on the penalty. Ryan Tannehill fortunate that Thomas was there to pounce on it.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Reliability you can believe in. That's powerful. And by Kelley Blue Book. Everything you need to make a smart new car decision is at kbb.com.
Indianapolis Colts opening the season with back-to-back home games for the first time since 1992. Stanley Havili getting involved. Donnell Ellerbe with the stop. It's a 7-yard pickup. They've got a 20-17 lead over Miami. Both teams enter action at 1-0. Colts with the win over Oakland last week. Had problems defending Terrell Pryor on the ground, but did get the win, come from behind fashion. Miami a 23-10 victory over Cleveland. And the Dolphins' first 2 games on the road. Up next, they'll be home for Atlanta. 2nd and 3 for the Colts. Donald Brown is in there for Indy. On a give for Brown. Dances his way ahead for a gain of a yard. Paul Soliai making the stop for Miami. Reggie Wayne, 4 catches, 28 yards in that first quarter. He has been shut out since.
Really hasn't been targeted since either.
3rd and 2, trying to get it on the ground. Donald Brown, 1-yard gain. He needed 2. Cameron Wake in on that stop for the Dolphins.
Great defensive series for the Dolphins. Of course, that penalty on the punt really pinned the Colts deep in the end zone, and some conservative calls coming off that position of the field. Give the Dolphin defense a lot of credit for that 3-and-out.
So a quiet drive for Andrew Luck and company. 4th down for Indianapolis. Pat McAfee will punt it. Marcus Thigpen is waiting for it at the Miami 35. He's dealing with the sun. McAfee averaged 48 yards per punt last season. That was a team record. This one towards the sideline and out of bounds. Thigpen won't even get a touch. Ryan Tannehill and the Miami Dolphins down by 3. 7:07 to go. We're in the 3rd. The reception distribution last week to this week, quite a contrast for Hartline and Wallace. They flipped roles here today. Wallace has been more the go-to guy in the passing game. Handoff. Daniel Thomas stumbles ahead and picks up 3 yards on the play. Defenses have tightened up here this afternoon as the game is worn on.
Well, the pass rush for the Colts has really picked it up in the second half. They've sacked Tannehill 3 times. He's forced 2 fumbles and He's only completed 1 out of 2 passes. That was a 0-yard pass to Lamar Miller. No catches for Hartline or Wallace here in the second half.
2nd and 7, play fake. Tannehill throws to the open man, and it's Hartline. A BB to Hartline into Indianapolis territory. Brought down at the 46-yard line. That's a 20-yard hookup.
You got to love the way he runs routes. There's no hesitation. He runs sharp routes, gives the quarterback a good target, and the play action fake really pulled the linebackers to the line of scrimmage and opened up Hartline.
4 catches, 63 yards now for Hartline. Miami down by 3. We approach 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Working out of the gun, Tannehill will throw it on an out route. He's got Wallace, ducks out of bounds. 11-yard pickup. They'll move the chains as we head to New York. NFL Today update, JB and Shannon.
High-flying Eagles.
JB, Michael Vick is 15 of 23, 316, 2 touchdowns. Deshaun Jackson, 7 for $158 in this 61-yarder. Look at this Eagle go into the end zone. 2020 Eagle.
Dan Fouts could sling it like that, could he not?
He could. And guys that can catch it like that.
Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts.
All right, guys, Daniel Thomas getting the call here, and Thomas is brought down for no gain. Would you like to run Chip Kelly's offense?
No, I'd like to walk it.
Yeah.
But in a 2020 game, were there no Charger highlights there? I mean, it was all Philly, and it's 20-20. What's going on, Shannon?
What are you saying? You're saying that
bias. It's that East Coast bias. I tell you what.
What it is.
Unbelievable. Even in the CBS network.
You go walk the Chip Kelly offense and check back in with us here in the 3rd quarter. We come up on 5 minutes to go now. Indianapolis up by 3. 2nd and 10. Tannehill rushes coming, steps up, avoids it. Tannehill, a rainbow. It's caught by Wallace, stumbling to the goal line with a flag down.
Now this is going to be against the cornerback on this side, Greg Toller. Be called for holding or illegal contact. But Tannehill stepped up just in time to avoid the tomahawk chop by Robert Mathis to get that ball off.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 28. Penalties decline. First down, Miami.
34 yards through the air.
Well, Wallace got great speed. He's going to run a little hook and go there. There's the grab by Toller. Didn't grab him enough to prevent the completion. We go back to the pocket awareness by Tannehill to get that ball off. Great job.
Miami trying to regain the lead. Inside handoff. It's Charles Clay busting it through the gut. And he's in. Touchdown, Dolphins. Wallace sets it up. Clay finishes it off. And the Dolphins go in front 23-20.
3 straight completions, Hartline, and then Wallace for 2. And then there's just too much power there. Charles Clay getting into the end zone, 255 pounds. This play will be reviewed, as all scoring plays are in the NFL.
Charles Clay, versatile H-back, tight end. Use him in a number of different ways. Remember, they let Anthony Fasano go in free agency to Kansas City. They bring in Dustin Keller. He tears his ACL in preseason, his right knee. And then they've got to figure out how they're going to handle this tight end spot. Clay is there. They've got a young guy in Deion Sims, rookie out of Michigan State. Michael Egnew is part of the mix as well. But it's been the abilities of Clay to fill different roles. And that's why they're confident they'll be able to get by at that position. So they'll take a look. The knee was down. The question, did he break the plane? Another look at Clay as he's met right in the hole.
Landry and Harvey there. The knee goes down, but where's the ball? Landry doing his best to keep it out of the end zone, and from that angle it's inconclusive. It was ruled a touchdown on the field. And Clete Blakeman will visit the hood again.
Charles Clay, 6th-round draft pick in 2011.
We've seen his talents as a receiver today. 3 catches for 96 yards, and remember that 67-yarder that got the Dolphins rolling in that first half.
First career rush for Clay. So the knee is down. Where's the ball? Landry and Harvey thought they had stuffed him. And now it's going to be up to the officials to determine whether or not Miami goes in front.
Well, the ball would be on about the 3-inch line if it's this touchdown is reversed. I don't think they're going to be able to reverse it because there's not enough video evidence.
We'll hear it from Clete Blakeman.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands. The result is a touchdown.
So Clay gets the touchdown on the ground. And Caleb Sturgis will come on for the extra point. 6 plays, 69 yards. It took 2 minutes and 27 seconds. The big play to Mike Wallace down the field. Miami has gone over 300 yards of total offense, 317. Indianapolis is at 348, and the Dolphins have the lead, 24-20. Coming up Saturday, it is conference crunch time. Justin Worley and the Volunteers hit the swamp to tangle with Jeff Driscoll and the Florida Gators. It all starts with college football today right here on CBS. Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern. (24-20) Miami's got the lead over Indianapolis. You know, the one thing that Chuck Pagano talked about in regards to Andrew Luck, with him, you always feel like you're still in the game. We still have plenty of time here, but no matter what the situation, he constantly makes something out of nothing, has incredible instincts.
Yeah, he plays like a 10-year veteran. Great command of the huddle and a belief in that huddle that what he says is going to work, and especially when things look bad for the Colts. Talking to Reggie Wayne about Andrew Luck, he says he's got ice in his veins. He's the same in the first quarter as he is in the fourth quarter.
Miami kicks it off. Kerwin Williams is deep, and Williams will take the touchback. Colts will have it at the 20-yard line. Andrew Luck, big numbers, 21 of 32, 268 yards and a touchdown.
And he's been protected well by that offensive line. Remember, the offensive line lost Donald Thomas in the first quarter. Hugh Thornton is the rookie. Third-round pick, has done a good job filling in for him. But Luck getting rid of that ball and being tough to bring down.
Thomas out with a right knee injury. Ahmad Bradshaw in there for Indy. Luck's going to throw it. Releasing its Fleener, and now creating after the catch. Fleener touched by Ellerby along the sideline. So they pick up 8 yards on first down.
Tight ends are having a big day here for both teams.
Clay for Miami, Fleener for Indianapolis, and no Dwayne Allen sitting this one out with a hip injury. 2nd and 2 for the Colts. This will be Bradshaw. And not much of a push there, but the second effort got him to the first down marker. Randy Starks sliding low to bring him down.
Just enough for the first down.
So they'll move the chains here. And we hit the 4-minute mark of the third quarter.
With a freak injury in practice to Vic Ballard has really changed this running attack for the Colts. I like Ballard's power.
814 yards rushing as a rookie out of Mississippi State. 5th-round draft pick, placed on IR. The torn ACL on Thursday, right knee. Luck steps up, pumps and throws through the hands of a Miami defender, and then made it to T.Y. Hilton, but incomplete.
Now Philip Wheeler had his hands on this one or came real close to it. Yeah, that right hand just not quite enough, but that was enough to keep Hilton from making the catch and perhaps making big yards as he was inside Nolan Carroll and running full speed across the field.
We mentioned Reggie Wayne, the main target in the first quarter. He has not been part of the action, though, since that point. Miami leading Indianapolis 24-20, 3:31 to go in the third. Ahmad Bradshaw working his way towards the perimeter, hit by Derek Shelby. It's a 4.5-yard gain for Bradshaw.
You know, Wayne may not have any catches, but you can't forget about him. It's almost like he's playing possum, waiting for his opportunities. Here's the coverage on him this time by Rashad Jones on that running play away.
So we'll call it 3rd and 5 here for Indianapolis. Bradshaw remains in there. Luck will work out of the gun. Protection holds up. Initially, Luck hit as he throws. Incomplete. In the area, T.Y. Hilton. Deion Jordan got some pressure on Andrew Luck, the rookie out of Oregon. Those two know each other from the Pac-12.
Yeah, Jordan says he's never lost to Andrew Luck and doesn't plan on losing to him today. Good legal hit right between the 1 and the 2 by Jordan. T.Y. Hilton at the other end of this play fell down. That ball, lucky, wasn't picked off by the Dolphins.
Pat McAfee will punt it. Thigpen at the Miami 20-yard line. Not much of a rush. High punt from McAfee. Backpedaling Thigpen. Lets it bounce. Indianapolis will touch it at the 16. So that's where the Dolphins will have it, with Miami in front 24-20.
Tiger, 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 tiger.
Fantasy football fans, there's still time to get in and play with the best this season. New games are available to join today. Sign up now at cbssports.com/football. Joe Philbin. This offense last week did enough against Cleveland, able to turn it on when necessary in the second half. And they've had a running game today. Miller, a burst of speed across the 30-yard line. Better than they were a year ago, not where they want to be, but at least they're keeping this Indianapolis defense honest. That's a 14-yard gain.
Well, Incognito comes over on the pull. He takes out Freeman there. Good blocking down the field by Hartline again. Explosive 14-yard run for Miller on first down.
Had limited opportunities as a rookie. Reggie Bush was the bell cow on the ground game for Miami. Miller will get it again. This time working the perimeter on the other side. And Mike Pouncey creating some space. 7.5-yard gain depending on the spot. Joe Philbin urging on his offense.
Let's check out Pouncey. What a great athlete at center to be able to get all the way out in front as he pulls like a pulling guard. Incognito out in front. Pouncey with the kick out, and another positive gain on first down for the Dolphin running attack.
20 yards last week on the ground, lowest total in the NFL. They've got 80 rushing here today. 1:20 to go in the third. Miami up 24-20. Play clock's down to 2. Miller tried to turn it upfield. He was slowed down by Angerer and then finished off by Bethea. But Miami's not shying away from the ground game. 2-yard pickup.
Well, Mike Sherman likes the ground game, but in the last possession, they got it done through the air with 1 pass to Hartline, 2 to Wallace. Now Tannehill's going to be forced to call a timeout. Play coming in a little bit confused. Players were not lined up where they needed to be, so he will call a timeout. Or will they get the measurement before?
Oh, they do get the measurement. So that buys some time. And, oh, that's never good. A measurement fail.
You know, you go to games for 30 or 40 years. You
think you've seen everything, huh?
And then you see something like this.
Be careful, that's loose. Didn't get it. 3rd and inches now for Miami.
They're lucky it was 3rd and inches and not 3rd and even closer. One of those things called links. 3rd and link.
Link.
That'd been 1 link.
Mike Sherman, offensive coordinator, former head coach of the Green Bay Packers from 2000 to 2005. What has he got up his sleeve on 3rd and inches? Under a minute to play in the 3rd. Daniel Thomas is the single setback. Colts crowd the line. Tannehill trying to do it himself and plunges for the first down.
Tannehill at the quarterback keeper.
Well, he is 6'4", 220 pounds, and that's just enough to go over the left side between Cognito and Pouncey.
So that keeps the drive alive, and that'll be the final play of this 3rd quarter. The Miami Dolphins on the road. They've got a 24-20 lead over Indianapolis. So we head to the 4th. Can Indy come from behind once again? Can Miami hold on and improve to 2-0 on the season? 4th quarter is coming up from Indy. This is the NFL on CBS. Indianapolis has posted 4 straight wins over Miami, all by 6 points or less. It's the Dolphins in front as we start the 4th quarter here, 24-20. And Miami with a 1st and 10 at its own 41-yard line. Daniel Thomas slammed down by Angerer. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew here in Indianapolis. Both teams at 1-0. Both teams spent a lot of money during the offseason to fill some holes. Second and 10 for the Dolphins. Shotgun Tannehill. They'll throw it underneath. Checks it down to Thomas. Thomas curls his way into Indy territory.
Tannehill's pass complete to 33, Daniel Thomas.
11-yard pickup through the air. Tannehill to Thomas. Big numbers spent in free agency by both ownership groups, Miami and Indianapolis, trying to take that next step.
Or he's seen Mike Wallace with a big game for Miami after being disappointed last week.
So new set of downs for Miami to work with now in Indy territory. They've been rotating Miller and Thomas in the backfield. Clay the motion man. Play fake. Look at the time for Tannehill. Time runs out. Robert Mathis. The sack for Mathis.
That's his 2nd of the ball game, but this is really a coverage sack because the secondary did a super job. Here's Mathis over here. He's going to be blocked for a long time. Charles Clay will go low. That's probably not a good idea with Mathis. He gets up off the ground.
5-time Pro Bowler has just given Indianapolis its 5th sack of the day. 2nd and 15 now for Miami. Tannehill gets rid of it quickly. He's got Clay again. Charles Clay hit at the 45-yard line by LaRon Landry. That's an 8-yard pickup for Clay.
Well, after starting this drive with 5 straight runs, Mike Sherman now going to the air. The sack really puts the onus on Tannehill to make a play here on 3rd and long.
That's 4 catches now for 104 yards for Charles Clay. 3rd and 7 for the Dolphins. Ninth play of the drive. Tannehill, the dump off. Oh, good second effort by Miller. Very close. Werner trying to wrap him up.
Defensive coordinator Greg Minutsky calling the blitz and forcing the hot read to Miller against the linebacker Werner. Good read by Tannehill.
It's 4th down. They're going to go for it. Tannehill trying to extend his body for the 1st down. Miami claims they've got it, and now the officials will sort it out.
They got it. Unbelievable effort after being just stoned at the first attempt. He bounces off, shows the type of athlete he is, a former wide receiver here.
So he stopped initially and then able to give himself a little bit of room by looping.
I hope they have all the links tightened.
It's going to be tested.
Got it.
They'll move the chains and the links. He is stuffed at the line of scrimmage and then tripped up, but that 6'4" frame gives him enough. Pagano's taking a look at the replay and now considering whether or not he should toss the red flag, and he does. An underhanded toss by Pagano.
Well worth the try. Smart challenge by Pagano.
Although Indy does have just 2 timeouts remaining, a loss here on the challenge would cost him one of those, but
Indianapolis is challenging the ruling on the field as to the spot of the ball when the runner is down by contact.
if he wins, they turn the ball over and Indianapolis will take over. Coach's challenge from Chuck Pagano. Whether or not Ryan Tannehill got enough for the 1st down, the officials will take a look.
You are watching the NFL on CBS.
I have to believe this is a good challenge by Pagano. You can see the ball right here, and that'll be right about there, but by the chain marker here, the ball would have to reach here. And remember, he only made it by 4 inches or so. This ball is going to be Colt ball.
That's what Blakeman is looking at right now. The call on the field was a 1st down on 4th and inches. Tannehill ran into a wall on that initial surge, and then the second effort allowed him to get to the outside just a bit, but he was tripped up. If he didn't get it, the Colts will take over on downs.
And another split-second decision by a head coach. We saw in the first half, Philbin did it. This time Pagano, and both times they were right.
After review of the play, I'm able to determine the spot of the ball when the runner's knee was down. I'll place the ball, and then we'll remeasure to see if it's a 1st down.
Perhaps not sure where the front tip of the ball was, perhaps, but how do you determine where to place the ball? Well, that's short. My
that's
goodness.
Short. So they can remeasure all they want, but they made it by, as you mentioned, 4 inches earlier. Colts are waiting to celebrate. Miami's defense is starting to come on the field, recognizing that there's no possible way.
Well, the Colts offense is out there as well, ready to regroup.
So another measurement, and officially, yeah, by a lot. Pagano vindicated and validated. Pump of the fist as his offense will now take over, down by 4.
That's just good communication between the coaches in the press box who have a TV monitor, and of course the huge screens here where all of these fans can tell Pagano, throw that red flag.
Dan, that has been a big part of this process around the league. You have these new stadiums with huge monitors, coaches, players. You notice them after plays just looking right up automatically now.
And Pagano studied it for a long time before he finally decided, because of the fact he only had 2 timeouts to work with.
So Indy maintains the timeouts. 11:45 mark of the 4th. Donald Brown is in. Nope. Bradshaw. It's a pitch to Bradshaw. And he's tripped up. Nowhere to go. Trying to take it to the outside. Olivier Vernon able to maintain his footing and contain the edge. Loss of 2.
Tackled by 96, Paul Soliai.
Andrew Luck in that first half, 242 yards, put it in the air 27 times, 5 of 8 in the second half.
Yeah, and the Dolphins know that Bradshaw is better between the tackles. Colts trying to cross them up by running him wide, where he has had a lot of success this afternoon.
Luck on 2nd and 12 after taking over on downs. Play fake. Rush is coming. Luck stands tall in the pocket. Incomplete. Tried to squeeze it into Reggie Wayne with Carroll back there, replacing the injured Dimitri Patterson today. Patterson sitting this one out with a groin injury after coming up with 2 interceptions last week in the win over Cleveland.
Not a lot of time for Luck to look around for an outlet receiver here after the play fake. It's another blitz by the Dolphins. Chris Clemens doing a good job of playing center field there. Turns into a double team on the receiver, and that caused the incompletion.
3rd down conversions last year in this matchup. Indianapolis was 13 of 19 on 3rd downs. They're 4 of 11 here today. Play clock's down to 2. Out of the gun. Luck bounces off a would-be sack. Luck looking for an angle. Luck, the dive! Andrew Luck right at the marker. Dion Jordan could not get him.
Well, and it sure looked like Jordan was going to get him too. But Luck is a lot stronger than you might think. 240 pounds. He's going to pull away from Jordan. Jordan trying to just knock him down. But how about that effort? Knowing what he needed and going and getting it.
Fidel Ellerby said, you got to wrap him up. You can't just put a hand on Andrew Luck. Bigger and faster than people may give him credit for. On a give. Bradshaw hit down low and couldn't break free of Philip Wheeler. 5-yard pickup for Bradshaw. This drive continues now with under 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Miami's got a 24-20 lead on Indianapolis.
And picking up the tempo now, going right to the line of scrimmage, dictating to the defense who they can substitute and not substitute.
57 yards on the ground for Bradshaw. This is a 2nd and 5 now for the Colts. Luck is thrown for 276 yards. Steps up in the pocket. Luck, the stutter step. And Luck, another tuck and run with Ellerby there defensively. 4-yard gain for Andrew Luck.
Well, as he steps up into the pocket, he's still thinking throwing it. And now he doesn't like what he sees and knows that he doesn't need much to pick up the first down. Good reaction by the Dolphins, keeping Luck from picking up another one.
This is a 3rd and 1 now for Indianapolis. Joe Wright is back on the field for Indy. Bradshaw and Havili behind Luck on 3rd and 1. It'll be Bradshaw. He's got the first down. Ahmad Bradshaw. 8-yard burst inside the 35. Havili and Wrights with key blocks up front.
Yeah, great job by Wrights playing at a tight end, and then Havili leading the way. Also getting it out there on the pull was Hugh Thornton. And we got a down Dolphin.
Injured Miami Dolphin on the play. We'll get you that update when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Reliability you can believe in. That's powerful. The U.S. Postal Service. Schedule your free package pickup today. And by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Paul Soliai was the injured Miami Dolphin 2011 Pro Bowler. Your left leg, he was able to walk off on his own. Here's Luck stepping up. Luck throwing. Deep ball. End zone. Intercepted. Brent Grimes stepping in front of Reggie Wayne for the pick. Terrific effort by Grimes going airborne. Turnover Indianapolis.
That's his first pick as a Dolphin, 14 now in his career. But this is a prayer by Luck, because Grimes has Wayne really well covered. Great position on Wayne. Wayne had no shot at trying to break up this interception. Big play by Brent Grimes.
Colts had not turned it over in 3 straight games. Grimes with the INT for Miami. Signed a 1-year, $5.5 million deal during the offseason. Miami taking a gamble coming off the torn Achilles. And Grimes proving that he's a playmaker for this Dolphins defense. Miami takes over. Lamar Miller. A barrage of defenders led by Jarrell Freeman. Andrew Luck, his first INT in his last 165 pass attempts.
But he knows he's got a lot of time left. The Colts have but 2 timeouts to work with, though, if and when they get the ball back.
That was the longest active streak in the NFL. 2nd and 11. We're down to 7:45 remaining. Miami with a 4-point lead in the football. Conservative once again. Keep it on the ground to Miller. Bjorn Werner there to limit Miller to a 3-yard pickup.
That was a read option play that time. He read the defense and perhaps misread the defense. If he pulls the ball away from Miller and keeps it, Tannehill might have big yardage.
Fans come to their feet here in Indy. Pivotal play here, just over 7 minutes to go. 3rd and 8 for Miami. Out of the gun, Tannehill steps up, tip ball, and it's caught. Gibson with the grab. And enough for a first down, his first catch of the day, and it's a big one.
Well, this is amazing how this ball still gets to the receiver, Gibson, and that he can still focus and keep his concentration on it after the ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Tannehill goes over 300 yards on the day. 21 of 30, 309, and a touchdown. Get to use more clock as well. Down to 6:20 and counting left in this 4th quarter. Tannehill, he hits Charles Clay. Antoine Bethea with the takedown. 6-yard gain for Clay.
A career day for Clay. 5 catches, over 100 yards receiving. A clutch play there on first down. Really quieted this crowd.
2nd and 4. Grimes made this possible with the interception. Handoff to Thomas. Thomas running inside. Eric Walden is there. Not enough for a first down.
But I doubt that the Dolphins will go for the quarterback sneak here, as they've done the last 2 times on short yardage. Less than a yard to go, but I would be thinking Tannehill's going to be looking for handing the ball to Daniel Thomas. It's their power back.
Mike Wallace heads to the sideline. 9 catches today. 3rd and short for the Dolphins. Clay in motion. Thomas trying to slam it in there. And Thomas runs into a brick wall. Forward progress appears to give him enough.
Needed to get to the 43-yard line, and that may be just enough.
Play was already whistled dead, and Colts defensive players were celebrating. Yeah, it looks like he got it. Joe Philbin with a wry smile. We'll take a look. It isn't up. This drive continues for Miami. 4:33 left in this 4th quarter.
First and 10 at their own 43-yard line.
Tannehill's been hot too this second half, and there's now into the 4th quarter. 8 straight completions for Tannehill. No pass rush for the Colts all of a sudden.
First down for Miami. From the Dolphins 43. Holding on to a 4-point lead. Tannehill on the outside. Brought in by Hartline. Brian Hartline not quite as involved as he was a week ago, but still a factor. 5 catches, 68 yards now for Hartline.
A good read by Tannehill. It's LaRon Landry late coming over to take that pass away from Hartline, and the timing perfect. Only bad thing for Miami is a catch forced Hartline to go out of bounds, stop the clock.
Tannehill, 9 straight completions now, relaying the signals in. 4:12 to play in the fourth quarter. Eighth play of the drive. Out of the gun, Tannehill. Knocked down. Tannehill can't get it off cleanly, and Jean-Francois getting a piece. Andrew Luck just hoping for another opportunity against this Miami D.
And this might be the ball game on third down now for the Dolphins. Crowd back into it.
3rd and 5 for Miami. 4:08 to play. Shotgun, Tannehill, rush coming, pats the ball, throws, incomplete. Trying to hit Wallace, but there defensively. And it's 4th down. Miami will punt it with 4:04 to play.
Now the pressure on Tannehill forced him to get rid of this ball before Wallace can really get untracked and moving across the middle. Bethea was right on the spot. But you go back to the pressure, and it's a blitz. Landry coming up the middle. That kind of sped up Tannehill's clock.
Brandon Fields punting. Will T.Y. Hilton get an opportunity here? Fair catch called for. He brings it in cleanly at the 14-yard line. Andrew Luck, 4th quarter with his team down. He's come through many times before.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Any regular footlong is a $5 footlong at Subway this September. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Andrew Luck, 8 career game-winning drives in the 4th quarter and overtime. That's the most through 17 starts in NFL history. He takes over with his team down 24-20, 3:57 to play. Line of scrimmage is the 14-yard line of Indianapolis. Luck out of the gun. Luck feeling pressure. Luck emerging. Luck breaks a tackle. Andrew Luck angles out of bounds. Cameron Wake had an opportunity, and Luck looked like he was breaking out of a phone booth.
Well, this is what the Dolphins saw last year when these two teams played. Luck making plays, pulling away from Wake, gaining 14 yards and a first down, and stopping the clock, getting out of bounds.
3:47 to go. Indianapolis has 2 timeouts remaining. They trail by 4. Luck, short pass to Bradshaw. Bradshaw, the collision. As he crossed the 30-yard line, give him a gain of 5 through the air. Starks and Wheeler there defensively. The Colts 10-1 in games decided by 7 points or less since Andrew Luck has been on the team.
Luck averaging 9 yards per carry today.
2nd and 5 now for Indy. We approach 3 minutes to play. Bradshaw in the backfield. Fleener has been a factor here this afternoon. Luck looks. On a crossing route. Griff Whalen. Whalen into Miami territory.
Whelan did not get out of bounds, though. Trying to cut up and get extra yardage, but was tackled inbounds after a 22-yard gain. Boy, was he wide open on this crossing route. Oh, a little pick there Smart play by the Colts against that man-to-man.
First down at the 45 of Miami. 2:34 and counting left in the fourth. It's a running play to Donald Brown, and he spilled out after the pickup of 4. Donnell Ellerbe in on that stop.
Colts should get to the line of scrimmage, get another playoff before the 2-minute warning.
Tackled by 59.
2nd and 6 now for the Colts. From the Miami 41. Brown remains on the field. Luck will work out of the gun. One more play before the 2-minute warning. Luck steps up. Luck in some trouble. Luck tries to fling the football. T.Y. Hilton was in the area. The question was, he ruled down. And that'll stop the clock with 1:55 left. We hit the 2-minute warning. 3rd down coming up for Indianapolis in a tight one against Miami. The Dolphins holding on to the 24-20 lead. Under 2 minutes to play. Well, one thing we know coming out of this game, these two teams are all set at quarterback for quite some time.
It's going to be a lot of fun watching them battle throughout the years to come.
Right now the focus though is on this 3rd and 6 for Luck and the Colts, trailing 24-20 with 1:55 to play here at home. Luck lets it fly. Perfectly thrown ball to Reggie Wayne. Wayne has just passed Andre Reed for 12th place on the NFL's all-time receiving yardage list, and a huge conversion for Indianapolis.
It's been a couple of hours since Reggie Wayne has seen the ball.
First down for the Colts. Luck throwing, end zone, incomplete. He tries Hilton and Grimes in the corner.
Well, that looked like the play where Hilton went over the top of Grimes in the first half to make this catch. Grimes with perfect coverage again. Ball just overthrown by Andrew Luck.
Indy still has the 2 timeouts. 1:45 to play. 2nd and 10 now. Line of scrimmage is the 23. 5 receivers set. Miami wants a timeout here, or do they? There's some confusion. And they get it. So the timeout call.
Miami takes its first timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, part of it.
Miami has 2 timeouts remaining, as does Indianapolis. Fouts focus, Andrew Luck and his abilities with his legs, Dan.
Well, let's see how he pulled off the game winner last week against the Raiders. First, he's going to see everyone covered. And then by looking to the right, he's going to move the safety out of the middle of the field. His offensive line gives him an opening, and as he heads to the end zone, blocks by his receivers, clear the way for the score. Crafty and faster than you think is Andrew Luck.
And something Miami has to factor in here. 2nd and 10 for Indianapolis after the Miami timeout. 4-point lead for the Dolphins. Working out of the gun. Luck should have been intercepted by Chris Clemens. Kobe Fleener, the intended receiver.
Yeah, a blitz by Philip Wheeler right up the middle. It's going to cause this ball to be off target, but Fleener had Clemens beat. Clemens with stone hands there inside the 5-yard line, but Wheeler with a big hit on Luck. That made that pass off target.
Now it's 3rd and 10. Luck trying to rally his team once again. Luck in the pocket. Incomplete. Carroll jars it away from Griff Whalen. Indianapolis faces 4th down with 1:35 to play.
Well, Andrew Luck is being tested by this pass rush. of the Dolphins. Just 4 men this time. He steps up as Starks loops around. Ball not quite thrown out far enough for Whalen. Good defensive play all the way around by Miami.
Helpless feeling right now for Tannehill. Does Luck have some magic left in him? 4th down. Timeout, Dolphins.
Smart timeout by the Dolphins. They saw how the Colts were lined up that time. They will get a defense called to combat that certain formation.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, where can you hear about Syria from President Obama, President Assad, and one of the CIA's top intelligence officers? Only on 60 Minutes. That's tonight.
Last time the Colts had a situation like this, Luck found Reggie Wayne for a big gain. You know the Dolphins will be looking for number 87, but he is your best bet, although Fleener's had a big day when he's been isolated on the safeties.
A year ago, Indianapolis pulled it out against Miami 23-20. Luck had 433 yards in that game, an NFL rookie record. 4th down for Luck and the Colts. They trail Miami 24-20. Luck out of the gun. Luck under pressure. Luck trying to throw the ball, and it's incomplete. Philip Wheeler getting to the quarterback. And there will be no captain comeback here today for Andrew Luck and the Colts.
Well, again, it's a running back unable to block a linebacker. Watch Brown here as Wheeler goes around him, and that's all she wrote. Great defensive call by Kevin Coyle, bringing the pressure from Philip Wheeler twice in a row. First on 3rd down, and then on 4th down.
Andrew Luck just did not have the time. The play never developed. Miami got into the face of Luck. Indianapolis has 2 timeouts left with 1:27 to go.
28, go, go.
Tannehill on a give for Miller. Miller securing the football. Indy will use one of those timeouts. 1:23 left. Randy Starks. What a presence he's been today among those putting pressure on Luck. Andrew Luck, 8 fourth quarter comebacks, 4th quarter and overtime in his short career. Had an opportunity to do it, and the Colts come up short.
Well, Miami had 6 sacks last week against the Browns, and today against Andrew Luck they go for another 6.
They can still get the ball back, but you're looking at somewhere between 20-25 seconds if they stop Miami. Miller hit at the 30-yard line, and the final timeout called by Indianapolis. 1:17 left.
And you know, and if you remember back to one of the very first punts of the game by Fields, almost blocked by Sergio Brown. They put great pressure on Fields, and you know that's probably their only hope, although T.Y. Hilton is an outstanding punt returner with such little time left where they possibly can get the ball back. You would think they'd go for an all-out block.
And obviously get the ball back and then have to go the distance. 4-point disparity here with Miami in front. Indianapolis a year ago, one of the surprise teams in the NFL, finished 11-5. Miami showed improvement with Ryan Tannehill in his first year. They finished 7-9.
Go, go.
Give to Miller. Lamar Miller. It's enough for a 1st down. Game over. Miller just sealed the deal for the Miami Dolphins.
Running behind Gosder and Sherilis. Costanzo as well on that side, and Lamar Miller going to send the Dolphins to 2-0 with that carry.
This will be the 7th straight win for Miami when they score 23 or more points. Grimes had a big pick for the Dolphins. Indianapolis' first home loss since September of last year in a wild one against Jacksonville. The Miami Dolphins 2-0 for just the second time in the last 10 years. Joe Philbin and the Dolphins come into Indianapolis and knock off the Colts 24-20. Ryan Tannehill goes for 319 yards in a duel of 2012 first-round draft picks. It's Tannehill that gets the win. He's now 1-1 in his career against 2012 #1 overall pick Andrew Luck, who threw for 321 yards in a loss. 24-20, Miami defeats Indianapolis. Coming up next, the NFL on CBS continues. The Broncos take on the Giants, or the Raiders meet Jacksonville. So for Dan Fouts and the rest of our CBS crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Indianapolis. The Colts now 1-1. The Dolphins 2-0. Excellent performance on the road for this Miami squad. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the NFL Today update will take you to New York for all the scores and highlights right after this.
Doesn't get any better than that. I mean, this was the exact game we knew we were getting into. We talked at halftime and we said, you know what? And we talked on Tuesday. We got to win the end of the half and we got to win the end of the game. All right? When it was getting a little dicey, but you guys hung together and made a huge stop. Great job. Unbelievable. And it was a team win. No question about it. All three phases, just like we talked about. We're going to keep focusing on improving. We're not worried about anybody else. We're worried about ourselves, and we're excited about playing the Atlanta Falcons in our own stadium. Proud of you guys. You know, I tell you, it doesn't get any better than that. That's why we coach, and that's why you guys play. To be together, to come together on the road and play like a team. I'll tell you one thing. We got a hell of a team in the making now. Let's go. Hell yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Dolphins on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dolphins.
About Mike Wallace and how important he was today.
He was important. You know, we knew coming in, we want to get him involved. He's a playmaker, and when you have a playmaker like that, you want to get him the ball. Got him involved early, and he took advantage of it and made big plays for us.
Was that important, getting him involved early?
I think so. You know, I think we're going to find a way to get him involved at some point, but getting him going early is a good thing, I think. When you have that type of athleticism, that type of playmaking ability, to get a good jump on it, it sets the tone for a game.
Brian, the confidence of this team, they were 7-1 here a year ago, a playoff team to come in here and beat them. What's that do for this team going home, doing home?
Yeah, it's big. You know, anytime you can get a win on the road, gives you confidence, and it's hard to win. Hard to win in the NFL, hard to win on the road. So to beat a good team on the road in a tough environment, it's fun for us, and it gives us a lot of confidence moving forward.
I know you want to talk about what the team has done, but just to go Andrew Luck, knowing he's in your draft class, you guys are both first round. Any of that head-to-head stuff today, just nice to beat a guy head-to-head that was in your draft class?
Oh, well, it's nice to win, and that's the most important thing. No matter who we're going against, it's nice to win. You know, I think he did a good job. I don't really know, you know, what his numbers were, but from what I saw, he did a great job of moving around the pocket. But the defense really stepped up and made a play when it counted.
How about having a running game today? How much that helped, even off the play-action fakes? It looked like it freed up a little more throwing time for you.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think that the offensive line did a great job. The backs hit the hole hard, and we were able to run some play-action passes because of the effective run game. So when we're able to run the ball, it opens up a part of our offense that we like.
Did you see something in their secondary you thought you might have some success against?
Nothing in particular. You know, we knew that they were good guys coming in, and we're going to have to play well and run effective routes. But the guys did a good job. You know, Charles really did a good job on their linebackers. Mike did a good job. You know, it was really nothing special we saw coming in, but everyone did a good job.
So the difference between last year and this year would be what? Mike Wallace certainly would help, I would guess.
He's definitely a factor, obviously. You know, you get a guy like that, he's a factor. But we made plays when it counted. You know, the defense stepped up and made a play. Offense did some good things. So, you know, when you come to the crunch situations, we were able to come out with a win.
How about the way Charles Clay stepped up? 10 catches now, first 2 games of the year, a long run, from fullback, scores a touchdown. His importance.
Yeah, he's huge for us. You know, we know when we lost Keller, he's going to have to step up and play a big part of our offense, along with Dion and Agnew as well. So to get him involved, we know he's a fast guy. He's able to use his speed, and he showed it today. He got caught though.
The touchdown to Wallace, yeah. The touchdown to Wallace, was that called ahead of time, or did you call it at the line? Where did that?
Oh, it was Sherman called it. Yeah, he called it from the press box. It was a great call and executed well. You saw the lineman Tyson get out there and make a great block. Then Mike did the rest.
How about to close the game out? Not worry about the Colts getting the last drive.
Yeah, I was getting prepared to go out on the field. You know, they were moving the ball, getting prepared to go out and hopefully go get a field goal. But defense really stepped up and put in a tough situation. You know, kind of backed up down there. I don't know exactly where the ball was at, but it was in the strike zone at least, red zone, and you know, they really came together and made 4 great plays to end the game.
A couple more guys, we got to fight.
Yeah, Brian, would just the fact that you guys are not the 2-0 start, you showed how much you improved, got a win on the road. Is this about as satisfying as a win as you've had?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's very satisfying anytime you can win on the road, and to have a complete game, tough situation. You know, defense is backed up. Everyone needed to make a play. It's really satisfying. You know, when you see the team really come together and play as a team. It's a lot of fun, and it's great to be part of it.
Do you let yourself now think, what if 2-0, you have 8 home games still? I mean, your schedule's opening up nice for you at this point.
No, I don't think ahead like that. You know, I'm excited about being 2-0. That's where we wanted to be headed into the season. We're excited to be headed home. You know, it's tough to win on the road, like I said, and it's exciting to go home and play a good Atlanta team. So, one game at a time still, and keep improving.